I am back from watching Spider Man Brand New Day, and he's sitting right there looking at the Godzilla ready to fight. But the movie's title is kind of significant because it makes more sense at the end of the movie than at the start of the movie. Let me explain. But first, I do want to clear the air about you actually don't need to watch everything before watching this movie. There are only a few things you need to know, like two to three. They're just like one liners. It is enough to not know everything and still enjoy this movie at its first watch. And that's what makes Brand New Day more fun. It's not knowing these things and then learning about them after watching the movie. The few things that you do need to know, one is maybe watch the previous movie so that you remember the spell and how everybody forgot who Peter Parker is. They know Spider Man, but they don't know that Peter Parker is Spider Man and who Peter Parker is. Two, Punisher is part of this world. He lives in Queens. He has a very distinct personality, which is like part of the movie. It's just there. It's explained kind of, so you don't need to like know a lot about him either. Three, if you have watched the previous movie, then you already know the kind of emotional state that Spider Man is in and how he's dealing with losing everyone around him, and especially after the death of Aunt May. And that's it. That's all you need to know to like watch this movie and enjoy it in the first watch or even in the second watch. Everything else is either self-explanatory or you will have fun learning about it after watching the movie. Most of it is already on social media, so you don't need to worry about that either. I did not. I was lucky enough to like go in there with a blank slate. I did not know anything about the movie. I literally watched the trailer like 1 hour before watching the movie. So I really went in there with a blank slate and I enjoyed it. It's definitely a comic book hug kind of a movie. It's not just like the iconic comic book covers that they have managed to recreate in the movie, but also the way Spider-Man moves, his swings, the way they are shot, the way they look in the movie, but also by the way he is, like just the way Peter Parker is, just the way Tom Holland plays him, and he's just a sad boy in love. That's exactly his character throughout this arc, and it's part of what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man, the way we have seen him in the movies for a really long time, and the way we have also seen him in like comics and in certain animated series. It really like Tom Holland really embodies that in this movie, and it really helps bring it home, especially for people who have watched the older movies. It really drives in the nostalgia. I will try to stay out of the spoiler territory while talking about the movie and like kind of its review. But yeah, like I said, everything is pretty much out there, but it doesn't take away from the experience of watching the movie. After coming back, I did saw a lot of the stuff that was not on my social media feed until I actually watched the movie. So it's not a miss, even if you know these things. It's fine. Like I said, before watching the movie, I watched the trailer like 1 hour before, but honestly, I was not that hyped after watching the trailer. It didn't feel that amazing to me. Maybe it was just that kind of a day, but after watching the movie, I was really happy. Like I said, it filled me with nostalgia. And the one thing that I really was waiting and hoping for when this movie was first announced, I also talked about it in my articles, and how I really wish this movie is not about like aliens and otherworldly stuff, but just like his character, how he's dealing with things instead of, fighting like a crime syndicate or trying to save the world once again. And thankfully, that is what happened. It also reminded me of a time when like life is easier, movies were there to enjoy and watch or rewatch, and instead of something that you had to sit and learn and study. The original MCU movies were fun just to watch and go back to it, and I think that is what Brand New Day is. It's something that you can enjoy more than once, and there is a lot of Easter eggs in there that you may not recognize in the first watch, but eventually you'll figure out, and that will make it even more fun to watch. Coming back to the movie, the plot is very simple. It's like identity crisis for Peter Parker, MJ, Punisher, and even Sadie Sink. But it can feel like a cute romance movie with some dark twists in there. But To be honest, the city is just as big of a part of the movie as anything and everything else, and real life influence. But to be honest, after the way Mamdani is making New York like rainbows and sunshine and a little wholesome, the movie feels more welcoming and more fun to watch. It really embodies the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It just really feels like that while watching the movie, even though he's like brooding throughout it. I have always been a fan of Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man or Peter Parker, but in this movie, Tom Holland really takes the cake. There is that brooding vibe that he, as Spider-Man, he has always had, but he's like really funny. The stunts are great. The fact that he has done most of it is amazing. The close-ups also hit different, maybe because he has evolved a lot as an actor, but it really shows, like especially with the kind of message that the movie is trying to give, it really shows that this character and this actor has grown and changed in over the years, since you, especially since you last saw him. And you do see the transition of like 3 4 years long period that goes on throughout this movie. The message it is trying to give is really about asking for help, taking care of yourself, dealing with life one day at a time. Again, brand new day. And the writing really really works because nobody in the story is there just for the sake of it, whether it is Banner, Punisher, Hulk, Black Widow, or even Sadie Sink. All of them have a reason. It moves the story forward, it moves the plot forward, it moves their own individual arc forward. Like I said, a lot goes on in the story. We have Cindy show up, who's known for playing Silk in the future. We also have them talking about DNA mutation. There is stuff about X-Men. All of it is being hinted together, but it never really takes over the main story. In the comics or in the animated series, Spider-Man has had a lot of connection with X-Men, and it really kind of brings that feeling together, especially with Doomsday and Secret Wars coming closer. But it never really takes over the story. It really just pushes his arc forward of him changing and growing as Peter Parker and as Spider-Man. But for me, the hero really here is Destin, the Shang-Chi director who also directed this movie, and his cinematographer. They're both known for working together. His name is Brett Pawlak. I think that's how you pronounce it. Shang-Chi was great, but the writing of this movie makes more sense. It's done by Chris McKenna and Eric Eric Sommers. And Chris is known for stuff like the Mindy Project as well. So the comic relief in this movie makes a lot of sense. The banter between Punisher and Tom Holland's Peter Parker, it's really seamlessly blend in together, even though this is the first time we actually see them together, but it never feels like that. Again, the stunts are incredible, and like I said, it's most of them are also done by Tom Holland. But what makes it really really amazing is that it's highly influenced by the comic, the games, the animated series, and it is done by uh, Jackie Chan's stunt team. All of this really makes it a really good watch. Like the visual story by Dustin is done so well. It helps with the rewatch value of this movie. Over the last couple of years, I have been complaining about how MCU never has been doing the kind of movies that you may want to go watch. Like if it's there, it's only to like find out like Easter eggs. You never really feel like watching those movies again. It's like it has been a one-time watch for a really long time, but Brand New Day definitely changes that. It has a lot to offer in terms of character growth and their performances, where you want to sit down and watch the entire movie again and experience it again in different formats. Finally, let's talk about Zendaya, Baton, and Sadie Sink. This is a Spider-Man movie. This is a Tom Holland movie. There's no doubt about it. But Sadie and Zendaya do add a very different emotional depth to the story. There are so many moments there they really have you holding your breath, and they look amazing as their characters. They are very in sync with their own arcs, and they really blend their stories well with Tom. Like their interaction with Tom Holland as Peter Parker is uh, something that feels inbuilt. Like instead of looking like you're forcing these characters together, which usually happens when characters spend a lot of time away from each other or when a new character is introduced. But the way the story has been written to weave them all together, it's done really great. And Zendaya and Sadie Singh both bring the best with even the complicated stuff that is going around these characters. Zendaya does have like three different ways to express her character, and it's done really well, even though they are like really small moments, but it's done really well. Peter really starts the movie all alone, and by the end of the movie it's like he has a family, and that also kind of happens thanks to Zendaya's character and Sadie Singh's character, along with Punisher John, and well as Lizam, who plays Jean DeWolf, the detective. And in the end it all brings together to the title of the movie, which is Brand New Day. So it essentially is about how, despite everything that Peter Parker has gone through, like alone, and it's a lot to deal with, like his trauma. And despite all of that, at the end of the movie, he is starting a brand new day with or without his mask on. I do want to talk about Jacob. He usually has been the comic relief of Spider Man movies so far as Ned, but this time around, John Punisher does that. He's great to watch, especially with Tom Holland as Peter Parker, and the fact that they have known each other for a really long time, the fact that they shot each other's audition tapes for like Punisher and Spider-Man, who really, really feels different when you watch them on screen working together. But Ned is not lost. He really brings the whole vibe together towards the end of the movie with like one scene. It's a short scene, but it really feels like, oh, this is finally the Peter Parker we know, we have seen for the past couple of years now, a decade maybe. I cannot end this review without talking about Tillman, Trammell Tillman, who plays Bill. He's like a villain in this movie. We know him from Severance, and I hated him so much in Severance that the minute I saw him in this movie, I was like, I do not trust this man. And he's just that great of an actor. He's just that good, and you feel the way he makes everyone feel uncomfortable. You feel that in this movie as well, and it's incredible to just experience that, especially with Spider-Man in the scene where he's like very chill and very happy and very being like goofy and fun, and on the other side it's Tillman just being himself. Overall, I love the movie. The Easter eggs are really good. You should maybe read about it after watching the movie, not before it. I did watch the movie in 3D, and the fact that I had to wear 3D glasses on these glasses was not fun. But the swings, the action looks incredible in 3D. But I will want to watch this movie in 2D because the 3D glasses kind of dull the colors. And when you watch the movie without the 3D glasses, it looks very bright and really happy, but when you're watching it with the 3D glasses, it just looks very sad a bit because it dulls a lot of the colors of the city. And like I said, the city is a big part of this movie, like it is also for the animated version of Spider-Man, the Sony one. It gives a similar vibe when you look at the city as part of the movie. There is one post credit scene, there is no mid credit scene. The post credit scene is kind of already everywhere on social media, so you don't really need to wait, because it is a long wait to wait for the post credit scene. But it would be fun to watch it on the big screen. It isn't a lot, it is just like that one scene that you probably have already seen on social media. But yeah, this has my hopes up for MCU. uh, it is just a wholesome vibe that I was looking for from Spider-Man, and that is what I got. And that really makes me feel like MCU is going back to this its old days, where it's not just like churning out content for the sake of it, but like actually working hard on these movies and what they mean and what they want to say, which is nice. That's what made MCU MCU.